let's move on to topic number 2. We're talking about tainted title. That's what I wanted to call this. You know, I know, like, the shot caller wants to have a question mark next to it, but for me, there is no question about it. To me, this is definitely the tainted title.
Yeah, the tough part for me to say this is it is tainted. I agree with you there. The tough part for me, though, is as much as Verstappen can be, you know, way too aggressive and dangerous driving, the guy had an unbelievable season. And I do think that, you know, this one in particular is not on him. He didn't do anything to create this controversy. Now, Christian Horner could be a different story. But, you know, to me, this is on, you know, Masi and the race officials. This isn't on the driver himself. So he's the one that I'm thinking about saying, like, you know, I almost feel bad for Verstappen because, you know, he didn't ask for this situation to happen. You know, he just wanted to go out there and drive and win the title. So, and he had such a good year. It just sucks that it had to end this way. So that's the reason why I'm like, I wish this title wasn't tainted, but it is just how it was officiated, you know? And it's not like, you know, Red Bull just took advantage of everything. And you know, if they're allowed to do that, I don't see why they wouldn't, but it's just the fact that they were allowed to, you know, like you mentioned, they were allowed to pit, put the soft tires on. And then as soon as that happened, you know, it was game over. I mean, Hamilton had no chance as soon as Verstappen was able to change his tires. So, you know, I'm sure Verstappen at some point is sit in the back of his mind like, you know, this doesn't feel great, the fact that we won this title. But it's also his first of many. He's definitely going to win another one. He's that good, you know, in his career. But, you know, it's crazy that, you know, this season had to come down to this. And, yeah, I agree. I do think the title's tainted.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be when you look at it. Another equivalent to like a major sport that everybody can remember that failed pass interference call with the Saints and the Rams just a few years ago. The exact same thing where people were questioning, do the Rams even belong in the Super Bowl? And they really didn't, because there was clearly a blown call that would have won the game for the Saints. It's like the same thing here. You know what I mean? Like, it's got to be tainted no matter how you bring it up. And like you said, I do feel a little bit bad for a good driver who, if this stays, people will always question it. You know, you'll have probably even more than half of the people saying he's not the real champion. He doesn't deserve it. So imagine walking around life with hearing that your whole life. So I get it. I get it why people would be a little upset. But at the same right, Red Bull set this up. And they're a team. This is a team sport. And he's part of that team. He's the leader of that team with Christian Horner. So to me, I do blame him and along with it too. I get it. You know, Christian Horner really set it up as the coach, but as the player, he was happy and glad to take advantage of it. Like you said, like most players or drivers probably would in general. I'm not questioning him for taking advantage of the situation that FIA set up. But I still think the title is tainted no matter how you look at it. And there's not really any championship that is this controversial when you go back, even to Senna and Prost, where they crash each other out. This was more controversial because race director changed rules, manipulated rules that were set in stone for 50 years here, and that everybody knew were rules. And we were all watching it play out in front of us being like, we know this is wrong. This is actually not what's supposed to be happening in the race. So I think that's why a lot of people are questioning this. They're even questioning if they want to continue to watch F1. Even me, myself, like I said, a person that has loved F1 for so many years of my life, I'm now questioning, like, is this worth it? Dedicating, like, watching all these races, 22 races, and then it is all just decided and off track by somebody else all ahead of time. So manufactured by Masi is the key, and people are calling for him to get fired. And I think that's one of the, and like I said, not just the only move they need to make, but one of the moves that will bring the integrity back to the sport is by getting a brand new race director, one that actually knows the rules and will pay attention and abide by the rules no matter the situation. So that's what they've got to do. They've got a lot to clean up here. And like we said, I'm still hoping Mercedes brings this to the highest court. They literally have said nothing since the end of the race. They haven't even cared about winning the constructors title, because they realized they got robbed and this was literally taken from them right in front of their eyes, and they're not going to stand for it. I believe in Toto Wolff. I believe in Mercedes that they're going to take this to the highest court and try to fight it as much as they can, get it overturned. And like I said, Formula One can overturn and change decisions and move podiums and move positions well after the race. That's well within their rights, especially when new information comes out. And if the highest court says they literally broke the rules and couldn't even follow their own rules, I don't know how you can't change it. So definitely this is a tainted title.
Yeah, when I say line these two guys up at the same racetrack and do like 20 laps and see who wins. And that's who wins the title. You know, like you already made a stupid rule. Just let's just go crazy and do that and have these two guys duke it out. You know what I mean? We'll see what happens.
5 laps.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see what happens with Mercedes. Like you said, they haven't said anything because they're building a case. You know that. But folks, that's going to do it for topic number 2.